So I just want to go over linking and making sure that we've got everything linked in our class site to the right things. So I'm opening up my index HTML, and for example, now I'm going in week 1, we're week 2, making sure that I have things like my About Me, my week 1 blog linked, and you're going to want to make a link to the recipe book as well as this week's blog assignment. So I'm going to start off by just showing you going over adding a link for the About Me, and then just taking a quick look at 2 links to external sites as well, just to make sure that we've got internal and external linking down. So I've also got open my index HTML page in my browser so that when I make the change to the About Me page, you're going to be able to see that work. And then I'll also click on these 2 just to show you how they're working. So for my list item About Me, and as you can see, I was playing with ordered versus unordered lists. I'm going to go ahead and add an anchor, and my hyperlink reference equals. And in this case, where is it? So remember that we're always talking about where things are in relationship to each other. For right now, just like things are no longer green, I'm just going to put a little hash there, quote, and my quote, and then end my anchor. So that's in there, and that'll be my link. So now if I save and I refresh, it now is a link, but it's not going to go anywhere. So what do I want in place of that hash? So let's go ahead and bring up my class site. So remember, I put my about inside my week 1, and there's my method to my madness. If I had my about page out here, I would just write about.html. But that's not what I put on the web server. I put in the web server, my About page was inside week 1. So what I have to put here is from index, I need to go into the week 1 folder and then find about.html. So I'm going to put week 1, remember, no spaces, all lowercase, / about.html. Yep, and I'm not going to hit enter. If you do, you'll notice nothing really bad happens, but hit save. Now I'm going to refresh, and now it goes. Woo! Now, you notice that I have to hit the back button to go back. One thing you might want to think about incorporating into things like your blog and all those kinds of things is a back button. So real quick, I'm just going to open my About in TextMate. And maybe at the end here, I want to add in a paragraph, back to class site, and paragraph. And here, I want this to be a link. And I need to go up a folder because I'm in. And let me add that. So here I'm saying go back up from the week 1 folder into the main and go back to index, save that. And now if I click that down the bottom, back to class site, I go back here. Now remember, until I re-upload both my index and my about page, none of those changes would be shown on online. So if I go to your class page. So remember to always update those guys online. And the other thing I'd want to talk about before we do that is just showing you again, reinforcing the difference between these are local links. So this is relative to my index page. But in this case, I have a link to the New York Times and to hyperbole.5 blogspot.com. Now for those, they're external links. And so I'm telling you what they are. This is my title is New York Times, and the title here is hyperbole.5. And you'll notice that when I hover over the New York Times, it says New York Times, and that says hyperbole.5. And when I click, it goes out to the hyperbole.5.blogspot. Even though this is my local file, it's still going to go out to the internet. This is going to go to newyorktimes.com. So you can see that then I have my link to my recipe book, and that is, again, that recipe book folder is inside my class site. And you can see that my index page, it'll just automatically go. If I have recipe book site / you don't have to type the index.html. That's presumed. That's why all of these pages, all of your sites have an index. If you don't type anything after a / it's going to assume that there is a page inside that folder called index, and it'll automatically bring that up. So even though this just says recipe book / when I click there, it's going to go to my homepage. And unfortunately, there's nothing in my index page because that is currently dummy text that I've given you. And so it's not actually an HTML page currently. But that's one of the things you're going to be working on marking up this week. So just to give you a sense of how that works. And then just remember to always open up your CyberDuck. And in order to have this then show up online, you need to make sure to FTP it as it's loading up CyberDuck as I go. There we go. And you'll notice that it always opens up to where you last left it. So I go to my site and I'd have to go in and both update my index. And when it does that, it's going to ask you always overwrite. There we go. And the other thing is I'll need to go into my week 1 and I want that week 1. I want that about page. And again, go ahead and overwrite. There usually will be some kind of warning it'll give you, but you can go ahead and overwrite. That's absolutely fine. And that's what you wanted to do.